We have a long agenda, right?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Right, so public comment on non-agenda items.
Gee.
Public?
Good.
No? Okay, so we move on. Review and approval of meeting notes, March 24, 2016. Okay, anything? Are we okay with the minutes? Okay. We just by consensus, right? Oh, we approve. Huh?
Yeah.
We move and we approve.
Consensus is fine.
Okay, all right. Update, superintendent's update. Well, I want to share some good news. So far, we've hired 11 full-time faculty, right? We have hired 4 in English, 2 in the library, 1 jazz musician.
Bio and A&P.
Yes, 1 bio, 1 A&P, and then there was 1 more. Business.
Business entrepreneurship.
But business entrepreneurship. So that's 12 then.
We're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing good. Right. And I must say that the level of diversity is significantly high. In English, we have 2 African American, 1 Asian, and 1 Latino. In library, we have 1 Caucasian, 1 African American, and then I think that's it for diversity. But we also have 1 Latino in something else, in geology. So I think we've done very well with diversity. And if we continue at this rate, it may be a banner year. We've also hired 1 dean for kinesiology and athletics. It's Ms. Dion Miller, who comes to us from Las Positas.
Okay.
We've hired a permanent director of EOPS and foster care, right? That's Nikki Dixon. And something that is of interest to everybody, after the 2nd level interview yesterday for the Assistant Superintendent Vice President of Instruction, I made a few calls to check on everything that I know. And then an offer was made to Dr. Terry Junie of Napa Valley College to come in as our Assistant Superintendent Vice President for Instruction. He will start on June 15th. Okay. And then this afternoon we will be interviewing for the Vice President of HR. Right? And hopefully by the end of the week or early next week we'll make an offer on that. And
is the jazz person an external person, or did you hire someone who worked here before?
the jazz person name is, I can't think of his name now, but he's an internal person.
Yeah, he isn't.
He's an internal person.
No.
No, it wasn't a transfer. It's
No, he's an, well, when I say no, he's an adjunct faculty.
Right, uh-huh.
He's an adjunct faculty,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think there have been several adjuncts. I think 2 or 3 adjuncts have been hired now. Yeah. In library, I know we have 1 in library. The geology is an outside person.
At least one in English is.
One in the English, yes. 1 in English is an adjunct. And then the A&P, both of them are, no, the biology and A&P, both of them are adjunct, yeah. Right. So I think it's a good mix. Okay, all right. And other than that, I think things are going very well for the college. Commencement is next week, right? And there have been a lot of celebrations going on. I have enjoyed attending most of them, but I can go to sometimes there are several at the same time. The scholarship award. Tonight there is one for the African American transfer celebration.
and honors.
And honors is also today, right, at 4:30.
I think so.
Right. Then, so,
We also have ours, visual arts, at noon. I may be running out of here a little bit earlier, just depending on the.
Well, I wasn't invited for the visual arts.
You were.
No, I was not.
Check with,
The natural, what is the natural science?
Kickball, we having kickball today?
No, I wasn't invited to that either.
kickball?
We do.
All right.
I'm in the
Check with
wrong-
Monica, you have
I'm
an
in the wrong
invitation.
field.
All right. I'm looking forward to going to the Senate, to the academic Senate dinner tomorrow night.
Awesome.
Dinner and award, right?
Mhm.
Right. Okay. And I think we're looking forward to summer.
It's just like 10.
Yeah.
She's gone.
Well, I want to thank all of you for the welcome that you've given me during my first year here, and I look forward to working with all of you to continuing the work that we've been doing and to remain as collegial as we've been and to laugh all the time. That's all I can tell you.
Yes, yes, you've done a good job, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Academic affairs update.
I would like to say too that I'm really pleased with the hiring. I think people have been much more aware of equity. They've tried really hard to rephrase or to rewrite questions and to approach the process differently. I know that there's somewhat baby steps, but I think we've come a long way. Just want to say that.
Okay.
The deans are very busy right now with all the awards, like Joe said, and also with trying to finish up evaluations. So those are our main things that we're working on. Several of us went to the CIO, CSSO, and the Workforce and Academic Senate Conference last week. It was giant. I've never seen so many people in one room. It was really huge, but I think it was all focused on CTE. It was very interesting. Looking at things like regional PD, PD having to do with institutional effectiveness and a whole new part of the Chancellor's office. And Cynthia can certainly talk about anything else. That's really all I have.
Okay. Accreditation update.
Okay, everyone knows the follow-up report is, the first draft is done. It's gone through the Senate. There was another section added to recommendation 1 to talk about the surveys that were done, the budget retreat survey, the annual update survey. Those results were added into the report, and that was also passed by the Senate. It's been to the classified ones, it's been to the students. We had forums last week. We have a newsletter that's almost done that will be going out, I hope, in the next couple days. And we do have a budget forum coming up. There is a leads meeting this afternoon, the last one of the year, and we'll be talking about what we need to do over the summer or right when we first get back in the fall, and to see where everybody stands at this point. The faculty coordinator for accreditation position is being flown right now.
Which position?
The faculty coordinator for accreditation.
Ah, okay.
Because it had only been a one semester,
Right, okay.
and so that is out. Whoever the person is and I will be working over the summer on the AIPs and some other areas. And there is a little presentation to do today. It's brief. One of the things we talked about in the governance meeting was the fact that we need to be clear on how we should be running these committees. And so I put together some slides, and this will become training for the chairs of the governance committees next fall when we know who all the chairs are. So at this point, I would just like to get your input on it. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be giving the training. I'm just put the slides together and I'm asking for some preliminary input. So I think Melanie can put it up. How do I make the slides?
You're going to have to click on next because it probably
Do I
Office
need
has
to go
not
down
been
there?
initiated.
Want me to-
Yeah.
I- here, Kat,
You want to click it for me? Okay. Okay, so it's training for running effective shared governance committees, and it will be done in the fall.
I guess it won't be done now.
There you go.
Just let me know when you want me to advance.
Okay, next, please.
Or not.
Okay, I should mention that there's a lot of handouts that go with this, and I have these if anybody would like to see them electronically. But I've tried to provide sections of the Ed Code, Title V, Accreditation Standard 4, and our own Board Policy and Administrative Procedure 3005, so that people understand why we have shared governance committees, what the purpose is, the fact that it's in law, and that we want to abide by it, and that we understand the value of it. So, like I said, if anybody wants these documents, I can email them to you. All right, thank you. All right. The overall purpose of the shared governance committees is to provide the opportunity for faculty, staff, students, and managers to participate in decision-making processes that foster greater student success. So I've listed what the committees are at this point. That purpose was generated by me in conjunction with the executive committee to be sure that we continue to put student success at the center, even though some of these committees are dealing with logistical issues. We just want to keep reminding ourselves that we're all there to try to make things better for the students. And as I think people know, facilities and sustainability have joined, and starting in the fall, accreditation and P&P will be separate. That's really the only changes here.
What's happening with the IEC?
It comes up today, Sheila.
Okay.
We're going on step 1.
But it would be, yeah, it would be the idea to put that as a committee here too.
Which one committee is it? INC?
IEC.
IEC.
Institutional effectiveness. Okay. Prior to the first meeting, it's important that whoever the co-chairs are working with the Academic Senate, the Classified Senate, the Associated Students, and the management to make sure that we have all the people that we need on the committee. It seems that sometimes we go for a long time and we still don't know who the committee members are. So that needs to be addressed really early in the semester. Meet with the faculty co-chair to review the charge, the committee goals, and the committee self-evaluation from the prior year. All those documents are here in my packet if anybody wants it, sample goals that each committee does, and also the evaluation form that each committee now does. And we've added 2 things into this to ensure that the committee is making student-centered decisions and that the committee develops goals that include student success as part of their goals.
Ken,
Yes.
is the audience for this the management co-chair then?
This would be, no, for both the faculty and the manager co-chair.
Okay, just because the way it's worded, meet with faculty co-chair, it sounds like we're telling the management co-chair what, so I'm just wondering who the audience.
Okay, yeah, I may have originally written it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I can revise that.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, when I first gave this, I gave it to executive committee, so, yeah. Review the common communication instrument. I think all of you will remember that we created a document that we're using as the standard agenda, and it has the ability, people can write notes on it, and they can do it electronically or on paper, so that they're taking things back to their groups. Then work with the faculty co-chair, and it is written like that. I'll rewrite it. To create and post the first agenda and call the first meeting, update the website with the new committee membership and the meeting dates and times.
Can
Yeah.
I ask a question? On the first bullet point, it says looking at terms of each co-chair and member. Where's that process written down?
I don't know.
That was a
Is it in
conversation that
the,
we
is it in the
had.
procedure?
It's actually not written out, and it probably is something that this committee should address, create a set of bylaws on how the chairs and co-chairs are selected in their terms.
That'd be great.
I know he's gonna assign it to me, so I'll start.
You would ask everybody, right?
Yeah. Oh, no.
No, you won't.
No.
Because you decide that by yourself, that would be, yeah.
Well, I know there's like some documentation for P&P, right? And then some documentation for IEC.
The only one that I know that's actually documented is the IEC.
Okay,
I don't see any documentation for any of the others.
okay.
On the P&P website and on the charge, there's something that talks about how some members are two-year terms, some are 3, but it doesn't say which members are 2 years and which members are 3. And then that's not in any sort of AP or VP, so.
And it wouldn't be, and we wouldn't codify it that way, it would have to be a bylaw of this,
Right.
this committee. So we'll have to address it.
Okay.
Ready?
All right, please, thank you. The beginning of the academic year with the co-chair review with committee members, the reason and benefits for shared governance committees. And in this document, in all my handouts, I've got the benefits of shared governance. The fact that we do respect and appreciate the expertise and skills of everybody who serves, that we make decisions that have more value when we include everybody. We make more student-centered decisions. We provide leadership opportunities for people. We create a climate of respect, cooperation, and collaboration through these committees. So this is here if people are interested in it. The committee charge and membership, including length of membership, we need to make sure that we understand that. And I agree with Crystal about the bylaws. Committee self-evaluation from the previous year. They should be going over that to help inform the goals for the coming year, go over the previous year's goals, what were accomplished, what weren't accomplished according to the committee. Roles and responsibilities of committee members, reviewing the communication instrument. And it really is important to make sure that the committee members understand their role and how they should be reporting back to their group, gathering input, bringing it back. I don't think that that's happening as much as it should be currently. And discussing how to hold effective meetings. With committee members, establish meeting norms. And the ethics work group right now is creating some norms that the college will have for the college as a whole, which the group's going to adopt. Goals for the new year and meeting dates and times. Okay, please. At the end of the academic year, review the self-evaluation document, discuss the extent to which goals were achieved and provide suggestions for next year's committee. Thank the members for their participation and input in the decision-making process. Provide names of committee members to appropriate managers for recognition. And send committee self-evaluation document to committee members, although Crystal does that, prior to finals week and ensure that responses are received. Okay, so that's basically it. The next one are all the documents that I do have. Oh, I was ahead of myself.
That's good.
I was ahead of myself.
Attachment.
Wait, I need to go back. I messed up. Can you go back?
Which one?
I didn't read this one. I missed a slide, I'm sorry. With co-chair, ensure that meetings are called and held as scheduled. Agendas and minutes are posted and emailed. Select and monitor a person who will keep the website updated. Make sure the meetings are collegial, respective, collaborative, and effective. Members, including students, are included in the discussion and ask for their input. Because students don't come back if we don't include them in the discussions. Members are encouraged to take information back to their constituency group in a fair and impartial manner, bring back opinions in a fair and impartial manner. Members are replaced as needed according to the guidelines established by College Council. And maybe in our bylaws, that's something else we should address, is what happens when people stop coming to the committee meetings? At what point do we replace them? And the presentation update is provided to College Coordinating Council as requested. Okay, sorry, I missed that
Okay.
slide.
Then do you want to go to the?
Yeah, then the attached documents, I have all the Title V language, all the things I talked about initially, the common communication instrument, sample committee goals, sample committee website with meetings, dates, times, place, documents, the benefits of shared governance. I've got a whole bunch of documents on how to create norms, if anybody's interested in that. I've got documents on how to run effective meetings, and also the committee self-evaluation document that we've agreed to use as a campus.
Kathy, I saw you talking with Jay yesterday. Was it about how the Committee on Committees for the Academic Senate is creating an online training module? It makes sense to me that we would have kind of one kind of committee training and that we would have shared language, and I don't know what your discussion was with Jay yesterday about that.
Well, one of the things we talked about was the fact that the Senate committees are all Brown Act, and so there has to be Brown Act
Yeah.
for that portion. We don't have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be one difference. But I told him I'm very happy to share anything I got with him. I would be happy for us to collaborate and have a
Yeah.
single one. I'm totally fine with that. I think we're going to try to meet.
Right, so we're creating like a mini Canvas training module where people could do it online, and we would have little Quizlets built in there to, so that if people couldn't physically attend this,
Sure.
they could still complete
Sure.
the training.
Sure.
May I ask you a quick question, Sheila?
Yeah.
So what is it that you're doing? A
So-
training of whom?
So the Academic Senate
Yeah.
has a committee to clean up our own committees,
okay.
and one of the things that that group has been working on is creating an online committee chair and committee member training on Canvas,
Okay.
on everything
What?
from Robert's Rules of Order, to Brown Acts to running an effective meeting and the duties of a
But
chair.
then I think if you're creating a training for chairs, there will be a little bit of a problem if we have another training for chair here.
I think they need to be
Well,
merged.
I think it has to be merged. It doesn't really matter whether they are
Uh-huh.
Brown Act committees or Robert Rules of Order committees or just committees that I run that are a part of nothing, right? Chairs would still have to do those, will have to assume those responsibilities.
Mhm.
So I think it would be better in the interest of the college to have one
That's what, yeah.
chair training.
So we can collaborate
Can
and.
the two,
Mhm.
the two groups, you can collaborate and make that one, and
Yep.
then we'll review it. Yes, Stephanie?
Mhm.
So if I'm a chair of something or I'm on a committee, would I sit through like this presentation or is there gonna be a different type of?
This is just the things that I thought should be included in
Okay.
it. So if there are things you think should be added to it, the
like
things I
yeah,
missed,
like conflict resolution, like what to do when you have a committee member that decides to derail the meeting, or people who are not being collegial, strategies to deal with that as a
Oh, yeah.
chair, what's in your power,
Yes.
what's not, how
Mhm.
to gain consensus before calling a motion, how, just
Mhm.
essentially how to run an effective meeting
Yeah.
to move the agenda forward.
This is wonderful. That could be a follow-up to after the two of you work together to create that, then we can have that, a second part to it, where how to run an effective meeting, how to deal with conflict, and ultimately we could create a certificate, right? We could create a certificate at PCC for faculty, right? And then you can earn your certificate in, they have that for trustees, effective trustee,
Mhm.
effective chair, right?
Sure.
Which includes the following components.
Sure, and we could
Ah.
offer a unit.
Yes.
Profession, yeah.
And we can figure out how people who complete that can
Yeah.
move up or move down or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
yeah, I did ask the ethics committee, as they're creating the norms, to put in there what is supposed to happen if someone
Mhm.
violates the norms.
Yeah.
I don't know when their next meeting
Right.
is, but I did ask that they address that.
I see something great here that would put PCC on the map one more time, right? PCC has created a workshop for chairs that includes the following, and anybody from across the state can go online
Mhm.
and take that training from PCC. Right. Jeannie?
What would be really great is to offer at least part of that opportunity for classified
Oh,
as
it will be
well.
offered for everybody. When I say for everybody.
Although we
Yep.
may not chair standing committees, we
Yes.
do chair other
Oh,
types
yes,
of
no,
committees.
no.
And to have that benefit of
Mhm.
that credit
Yes,
earned and
yes.
certificate.
That will be offered to everybody.
Mhm.
And if we offer that, right, and the people who complete that, right, and get the full certificate, right, if there is going to be a reward, whatever shape and form that reward takes, it will be for everybody.
Mhm.
For faculty, for staff, for
Students.
management, for everybody who takes that training, who completes it. If there's a reward at the end to be obtained, across the board for everybody.
Mhm.
We're not going to discriminate because you are faculty, you are staff, you are management, that we will give you different rewards. So everybody will get exactly the same reward. Hmm?
Yes, that's
Okay,
great.
so I think we deserve, yeah, and then we could take that show on the road. You could take it to the 3C,
Absolutely.
and then
Present workshops.
faculty can take that to the academic senate, right?
Mhm.
And management can take it to ACA, right? Okay.
And I was actually looking for, our institutional SLO for next year is social responsibility. Demonstrate sensitivity to and respect for others. So we can also link whatever we're doing with that institutional SLO to all of this. And we're hoping to have an ethics training in the fall in connection with all of this, where we bring in perhaps someone someone who teaches ethics in an EDD higher ed program, someone from outside, to help us with collegiality and,
All that could be part of that training session.
correct.
I guess
Correct.
that will be the first thing in your professional development program at the CAP. Huh? I don't know, I mean, now that's not for me to decide, but I mean, the group can work on that and see how we move.
Or flex, yeah,
Huh?
or flex day.
For Flex Day, yes, excellent, yes. Cynthia?
Yeah, I was thinking, thank you Kathy for adding the student success part. The reason why you wanted that added in, and maybe we could add the word equity, student equity and success, or student success and equity, is because hopefully, we'll all get along better if we remember why we're doing all of this. it's for the students. So if somehow we can weave that in, you know, even like the last meeting I had, well, I thought it was the last meeting, we added another meeting next week, but I held a meeting for the new student experience. And yesterday my goal was let's document all of the outcomes we've achieved this year for students. You know, what have we done?
Right.
And it really helps the committee to see how productive you've been and what your outputs are for the year.
Very
It
good.
makes people want to be involved.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Any more questions or suggestions for Kathy? So with the.
Yeah, I would like to know if anybody thinks that there's something missing, and if you think about it later, let me know. I've written down what you've said, but I'm very happy to work with Jay and put something together, and he can put a little course
But
together.
you will be working together. This will not go out as this anymore now, from
No.
what I heard. It
So-
will be a combined thing. That
Yeah.
you work together.
So Rhea Preciado, who teaches geography, she is a really expert online instructor, and she's helping us create the online Canvas module. So we can just make sure
Okay.
that we're like hitting everything.
Okay.
I hope we'll continue that throughout the year, that kind of collaboration, working together,
Yeah.
create something that is good for everybody.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be a chair for management, a chair for faculty, a chair for
Right.
class. We all will learn how to chair together.
Well, I think we should bring
Yeah.
someone in from Classified Senate
Mhm.
also
Yes.
to work with us. So maybe.
Actually, I think maybe we should add also add facilitation, some
Oh,
facilitation
that would be,
skills.
that should be,
Yeah.
that would be part of, I think you
Um,
mentioned a module on that, right?
Yeah.
How to facilitate.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, not facilitate necessarily when there's an issue, but just facilitate.
general.
Meetings, yes.
Yeah.
Making sure that
That's
you're
right,
getting
yeah.
people's input.
Yeah. Deborah.
So a couple of things as I'm listening to this that I just want to throw out there and whatever, that some campuses have tri-chairs, so I don't know if that's something that we want to think about including classified, and if we're training them, we might actually want to share the wealth and have them, if there's some committee that kind of deals with classified issues more than others, maybe think about having a tri-chair. Also, in regards to the attendance for the committee meetings, I've worked with Jeannie on this all year, and last year I was vice president too, and the vice president is the one who does committee appointments and kind of stays on top of that. And I think the missing link there is that we don't get the feedback when someone doesn't show up to meetings. If there could be some sort of even like quarterly reporting of like, okay, here's all the committees and here's the attendance records or something, then maybe we could have conversations with the people to find out what's wrong, if there's, you know, what the issues are, and then try to work with them to improve their attendance, as opposed to, I mean, I don't like just replacing people. I like to actually work with them to see what's going on, because sometimes it just, maybe there's a conversation that needs to happen in order to improve their attendance, but we don't know about it if we don't know that there's an attendance problem. So that was just my 2 points. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, when people haven't been showing up, at least the committees I'm on, we call and find out, you know, what's happening. And then if it appears that they are not going to come back, then we ask for a replacement. We're not just replacing them, you know, without that conversation.
I just think that from being a VP and working with my VP closely, that it's something that we know is an issue, but we have not been able to get our hands around it because we don't get a reporting of who's attending what, and I mean, as far as attending the meetings. So I would like to have us be able to deal with that as soon as it looks like there's a problem, rather than waiting 3/4 of the year and like, oh, this guy didn't go to the last 6 meetings. You're like, what? I didn't know.
I think one way to facilitate that would be perhaps if the committee chair, co-chairs, could send the minutes to the VP of Classified Senate, showing the attendance, and we can just draw from that. That would be kind of a simple way
We
to.
post their attendance online.
Well, if they're
Committees attend
taking,
membership attendance.
that's
We have a
the.
whole website for that.
I like
just
her
kidding.
idea about the I like her idea about the minutes. I don't know, because if they're not following the Brown Act, then maybe they're not doing formal minutes, so you might not. I mean, we just need to capture that information, and the
Stephanie?
VP should know.
Stephanie?
Okay.
One of the things, like what we did with IEC when Sheila was the co-chair, is that we had a Canvas page for the committee.
Right.
there is a way in the Canvas page to keep track of attendance. That could be a very easy way for minutes to get sent out, attendance to be,
Right.
people to know what the motions are in case they miss the meeting. And so maybe if part of the training is for the chairs to set up a Canvas page for the committee, then there would be ways to be able to keep track of all of that, and it would be consistent from committee to committee.
Well, that sounds very good.
I'm just curious, as staff, we rarely go into Canvas. Do we have access to Canvas?
Yes, so we would just ask the office to invite whoever was the
Okay.
vice president as an observer
Okay,
to the
that's
course.
All right, well, thank you very much. Student Affairs update.
As Kathy mentioned, we all went to a conference last week, the Chief Instructional Officers, Chief Student Services Officers, if you all would take one handout. While I was there with Kathy Salomon Davila, it's 2 pages for each, and our Academic Senate Executive Officers, it occurred to me that, we have SSSP, which is the Student Support Services Program, and Student Equity, and now we have this new effort called Task Force on the Workforce. Task Force on the Workforce, it's just a new way to hold us accountable as a college for keeping track of the activities we're doing with our students to help them achieve their CTE goals. So what I did is I went this morning, I was very curious to see, I have outcomes that I'm responsible for reporting on behalf of our college for SSSP and Student Equity. And now we have outcomes we have to report for economic and workforce development. But we shouldn't shoulder these things in isolation, right? Student Services shouldn't have to do it alone, EWD shouldn't do it alone. So I just wanted to start the conversation, which we'll pick up again in the fall, I'm sure, of how our college is going to come together to achieve these goals. These are our goals as a college. This is what we're responsible for helping our students to do, and then ultimately this is supposed to lead to higher completion rates for students. I'm really pleased that the Student Equity Committee is working with faculty, staff, and managers across the campus on various projects. And I did gather people who are leading grants and categorical funds for a meeting so that we could also look at what are their respective goals for Title V grants, and then figure out how we can use the money strategically so we can implement student success support at scale. It's going to be a lot of work, and it's something we'll probably have to start doing in the fall. So I look forward to working with everybody on all of that.
Well, thank you. Any questions for Cynthia, Dr. Oliver? All right. All right. Well, standing committee update. We know that Ruben is not available today. He is at a training session at Miracosta College. So we will postpone this to the next meeting. We may have 2 reports at the next college coordinating council meeting. All right. Old items, discussion and possible action, BP, AP 4051, college credit for articulated high school courses, and I know we saw that last time. Questions were going to be asked of Lionel Wiggins, and I know that Valerie asked Lionel, and Lionel gave an explanation, right? Everybody's okay with that, with the explanation given? I'm fine with it. Okay. So what do we do with that now?
They need to recommend it to move forward to the board.
Okay. Your motion to recommend him moving to the board, okay. Recommended by Stephanie,
Second.
I'll second.
okay, seconded by Deborah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? So okay, we'll move this one to the board. Claims and actions against the district. We provided you with that last time because our legal counsel informed us that we needed to have BPs and APs explaining how we're going to address claims that are made against the district, and I know that Crystal has been working with Warren Fisher. Anything you want to share besides the fact that everybody had a chance to distribute this information or communicate the content of this BP to their constituent groups? Any feedback?
We
No.
didn't get an opportunity.
You get an opportunity, so we'll
Yeah.
wait a little bit more then. All right, okay.
I
So,
don't, it's summer now, so I don't.
okay. Is that okay?
Well, it does raise the problems, since one did want us to move this forward.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that, we couldn't revisit it again in the fall, but we could move it forward and put it on the books, and then if you guys want to revisit it in the fall, we could definitely do that.
Sure. We
Is
just
that-
had too much on the agenda with the recommendation.
Right. We're doing it. So you, how does that group, do I hear a motion to move it to the,
Move approval.
Second.
everybody, it's not approval, it's moved
To the board.
Recommend.
to recommend to the board, right?
Yes.
Yes. And so we have a motion,
And a second.
and a second,
Yeah.
right? And what do we? Okay,
Call the
all
question.
in favor?
Aye.
How many in favor? Because I don't know how many in favor.
We abstained.
Okay, so, okay, you have 3 abstentions.
Mhm.
Okay, we have in favor, how many people are in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cynthia, are you a member?
I'm not a member.
You're a voting member? Okay, 6 in favor. Opposed? 0 opposed, abstention. 3 abstain, and how many members do you have in this committee?
Come on, Crystal.
Yeah, I
Marina?
have no idea.
Marina, how many?
We'll check the attendance list.
What's the membership of the committee?
Tons.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
16?
There's
16 members?
16 voting members?
Well, are these, this is the
Let's see.
attendance sheet?
Because many of the names on here are not voting members. So we have, okay, so we have, how many do we have from the Management Association?
3.
1, 2, 3, 16. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah.
Isn't it members present?
People here.
Isn't it members
But
present?
But it's just
Yeah,
members
members
present that you
present.
need to
Yeah.
count the tally
Uh-huh.
for.
I don't vote, right?
Yeah, you
Only if
vote.
it's a
The chair
tiebreaker.
doesn't usually vote unless it's a tie.
So if there's 11 of us here, it still passes? by
No, it
majority?
doesn't pass.
Oh, does it need to be 2/3 or?
No, it has to be the half of the number of members.
No,
just
present.
those
Present.
Members present.
Oh, that's what our
voting.
bylaw says?
Those voting.
That's it?
Yeah.
The motion passes then.
Yeah.
What was I doing when I said that? What kind of committee is that? That's a good question. What kind of committee?
That's
Is it-
quorum. You're thinking 50% is
You have to get
quorum.
50%?
50% plus 1 is to get quorum.
Yes.
But when you're counting votes, it's only the majority of the members present, unless it's an amendment of a bylaw, in
Ah.
which case you need 2/3.
But what about if I take the case of the Board of Trustees? It doesn't really matter. Even if 4 members are there, we still need to get 4 votes for
They need
the
to,
motion to pass.
they need to vote unanimously though,
But
don't
there's
they?
only 7 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't have to vote unanimously, but for a motion to carry, right, to be approved,
The 4 is the majority.
you must have 4. Even if there are 4 members present, you must still have 4.
Well, but they're enacting, we're making a recommendation, correct?
I guess yes, because I mean, if you were to look at, I guess that's true, because in the state legislatures, Congress and so on, it's not by the number of members who are present. It must always be half of the membership, half plus 1, if it is an odd number. In the House, for a motion to pass, what is it, 435 members, right?
Yep.
You need to have 218 for any motion to pass. Even if there are only 220 members present, you must have 218.
Good thing we're not the House of Representatives.
Yeah, true. That's good. I'm happy that we have this here. So there's this. So this will go forward. Everybody's okay with that, right?
Yes.
All right. Does everybody understand that this is the rule of this committee?
Well, I think we should write that up in the bylaws.
Huh? It's not the rule of the committee.
I think it is, but we need to.
Well, you think it is. I mean, you think, is it the rule of the committee?
Yes.
It is. It's half of the members present plus 1. Okay. All right then. New items, discussion and possible action, AP 3200, accreditation. Yes,
So the adjustment to this was just in the first section, which creates the accreditation standing committee as a subcommittee of college council. Previously had been P&P, we already voted to make it a standing committee. This just puts it in the administrative procedure for
Okay.
accreditation.
is that something that you will be taking to your groups, right, for your groups to review? Right?
Can I ask a question, Crystal? Who is the HR representative on this?
There's never, I didn't change any of the membership on this.
No, just who, do we know who the actual HR representative is on this?
On which one?
On the accreditation, it's new. The ASC is gonna be new. It
That's a
needs to
new
be
committee.
newly formed. Right?
This is a newly formed committee?
It will be.
It's not technically newly formed.
Okay.
It's been in existence, it's been part of P&P.
Okay, and this membership was what it was before?
Yeah, I haven't changed it,
And there was an HR rep before?
No,
no.
no. Crystal, so are the members of PMP, how are the members of this new ASC going to be decided? Is it still?
That's up to it's outlined, I believe, in the procedure, and then the co-chairs will work on it in the fall. It doesn't exist yet.
Some.
Right. See, it doesn't. So we have, on PMP, we never had an HR rep on the committee when I was,
No, I was just looking at
Yeah.
this list and I didn't know that there was somebody in my department doing that, so I was trying to figure out who it was.
I have one more question. So with PMP, before we had done the revision to 3200 that made PMP the steering committee, the membership of that committee, the faculty co-chair was the academic senate president. Are we going to revert back to that process? Because now we need to define how the co-chair, the faculty co-chair of PMP needs to be decided, since it's no longer codified in 3200. And before it was the academics, yeah. So when I became the accreditation coordinator, I replaced Dustin Hanby on the committee. But it's always been the academic senate president. Sorry about that, I didn't mean to make you chair another committee, but
got lots of time, right?
I'm just curious if we're going to revert back.
You enjoy chairing anyway.
I don't really think that's my decision to make on whether we wrote back. I think it's up to this committee to decide how they want to handle that. I know you think I make all the decisions in college, but I don't.
What?
We were kind of happy with that plan.
Okay, so help me understand really quick if you can. So this will be our accreditation committee for just standing all the time. We'll work on the midterm, the self-evaluation, and then just ongoing project. P&P will then separate out, and their focus will then just be on
Planning priorities.
Okay.
Let me ask a question. What I just heard right now is that this AP 3200 that is creating that accreditation committee, that this committee is going to be working on the responses to the recommendation on the midterm report on the accreditation self-study. You will have problem with that. Because the accreditation self-study will never be done if this committee is going to get to work on it.
No, that's not how it reads. If you read for the accreditation self-study, it actually talks about, further breaks it down, and when we're writing that, there are standards committee
Okay.
with representatives.
Okay.
This committee basically leads that charge to make
Okay.
sure the work is getting done,
Okay.
and then addresses follow-ups, midterms, and
No,
the
I'm fine.
annual reports that we have to do for accreditation.
No, but I was just going by what I thought I heard, like, that's why I'm like, okay,
It
that's
breaks
good.
it out
Right.
in there for the actual
Right.
self-evaluation.
Okay.
But I didn't change any of that, that's the language that was already there.
Okay. So what is the pleasure of the group now? You will be taking it to your constituencies or what? Hmm? And then when do we bring it back?
In the fall.
In the fall? Is that,
That's
Too
the
late?
first time the Senate will be able
Okay.
to agendize it, so
Okay.
it'll have to come back.
let me ask you a question. How urgent is this? So that the groups know.
I think if we can request to the Academic Senate this be on your first fall agenda, that will give us plenty of time then to get the committee started. I'm sure Kathy will be working on it over
Okay.
the summer.
Everyone good? Good?
Yes.
Well, good? All right.
And then can I request at a future meeting that we revisit the membership of PMP
Absolutely.
in respective to this? Because I think we need to figure out the co-chair
Marina,
situation.
take note of that.
I actually think that should be part of the bylaws for all, that we could,
Yeah.
right, for this committee, that we address how all the
All right.
committee chairs are
Yes.
appointed and their terms.
The next one now is BP/AP 4225, course repetition. What have we done here?
So actually, these two, the two of them, 2 and 3, 4225 and 4227, these were done by Susan Bricker to address the Title V changes.
Okay.
And the other thing we did was to break it out, so there's a very big difference between course repetition and courses that are repeatable.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make that very clear, and that's why we gave repeatable courses a separate AP.
Ah.
But she adjusted them to follow the new Title V language
Okay.
that we're in compliance.
No, that first one, I don't think we need to, I think all of you can vote yes on this one, we can take action on this one perhaps. It is the policy of the Pasadena Area Community College District that has been crossed out, it just says students may repeat courses. Is that something that you think you need to take to your constituent group?
Yes.
Even for that? Okay, no, I'm just asking.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, all
I
right,
had-
okay, all right,
Yeah, I
Okay.
had kind of hoped that that would happen
okay, all right, so then.
for this time.
Okay, so this is, so then we'll take it for in the fall semester, so everybody's getting it for first reading, right? And then the 4225, that's a new one, right?
4227 is new, which is
Okay.
at the AP, which is just a breakout. This used to
Okay.
be combined into one, and I just
Okay.
broke it out so people could find it more easily.
Courses designated as repeatable, so. Okay, so this is, all right,
It used to be combined with the 4225.
so now we have two
It was
AP.
buried pretty deep, so sometimes people couldn't find it. This
Okay.
just makes it very clear, the difference.
So this is only an AP.
These are administrative procedures,
Okay.
correct?
Mhm. It is not connected to any B.
4227 is connected to the EP 4225, which
Okay.
is a subsection of that.
Okay, all right. So then we'll be taking it, all of you will be taking it to your groups, right? Then we have BPAP 3251, institutional effectiveness repeal. Well, I guess.
I included in the packet that went out a memo explaining
Yes, or-
why this is being requested.
Mhm.
And basically, this was requested by the Institutional Effectiveness Committee themselves, and what they want to do is become a standing committee of College Council, which, as I explained in the memo, makes perfect sense since BRAC and PNP are already, and accreditation are standing committees, that this one should. It also then gives the IEC someone to actually report to on a regular basis as opposed to being out there by themselves. So in order for that to happen, I have to repeal the board policy because it specifically creates that committee. And then we repeal the AP and put it in line with the other standing committees of College Council.
Okay. So you'll be taking that also?
Yes.
Hmm?
Will
Okay.
there be significant changes made in the policies and procedures, or will the going under college council be the main change?
I haven't made, well, the board policy will just go away, period. It disappears because we're asking for the board to repeal it. And then it'll have to come back to this committee and we'll have to agendize actually making IEC a standing committee of College Council. So that'll happen if you agree to the repeal of the board policies, and that'll be the next step. Then as for the administrative procedures, they'll be repealed and they can stay as is for the committee, or this committee can then decide to adjust those as well.
All right. Any more questions?
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to BPAP. So this will come back in the fall also,
Correct,
for second reading and for action,
right.
all right? BPAP 4050, articulation.
This came through the Academic Senate. They approved it on March 14th, 2016. I believe this was probably done by Alan Ogaz. And this talks about the articulation of college courses to college courses at other institutions.
Then why do we have it in a new item?
Because it hasn't been to this committee yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
But in my opinion, it's ready to move forward if this committee recommends it.
But you haven't seen it before? You've seen
The
it?
Academic
Senate
Senate
has.
We
has.
Okay,
approved
you approved it,
but we
okay.
have-
Yes, articulation is.
Right, okay, but the other group, you have to take it back?
40/50.
Uh,
I don't believe we
I
do.
don't think so,
Yeah.
because it's
Okay.
not, yeah.
Okay,
It's not-
okay, so then we can move it forward, then we have to give a motion to move it forward?
Motion.
Okay, motion, right? Second, right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Okay, very good. So this one moves forward, then BP 4050, about AP 4050, same thing? Okay, motion to move forward, to recommend to the board?
Do we have to do them separately?
We just do them as a package.
Oh, we'll do that in package?
Yeah.
Okay. Did we do it as a package right now?
That was her motion.
Oh, okay, so that's fine, then, okay. All right. Actually, I have another 4050, but that's the same one. Okay. All right, so then, May meeting.
This was agendized because the next meeting is scheduled for May 26th, which is after the academic year is finished, and we just want to know if you still want to hold that meeting, or if you would prefer to wait until us to meet in the fall again.
Are you going to be able to write up bylaws before then? Because that would be the only thing we discussed, right?
I could be fast.
You don't have to, I'm just asking.
What is really, I mean, faculty usually aren't here on the 26th, so it's really up to you. Everybody else, you can make, show up at this meeting.
Oh, is it about the faculty, whether we're willing to, yeah, we're here.
We're here.
We're here all
We're
the
here.
time.
So it's up to you.
No, I'll present it differently. Would the committee prefer that we go on vacation, that we take some time off over summer and come back and reconvene as a committee late in August?
I like the ideas of getting the bylaws
Okay.
cleaned up over summer so that
Alright.
we can start fall and focus on other things.
All right, so then we'll have one more meeting in May then. Is that too early for you?
No, let's do
Because
it.
that could impact the chair situation and people
All
need
right,
to know
okay.
about
Yeah.
their.
Right, okay, very good. So then the meeting will be that. Announcement. Let's start with Kathy. No announcement? Julie? Valerie? Joe?
Nothing.
Deborah?
No, thank you.
Stephanie? Sheila?
Does everyone have tickets to the banquet?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
there's like
That's a
10
question,
left.
Sheila, we're not
Let's do
asking for
banquet.
questions. The announcement, question.
Oh, I have a question.
My announcement is, I think there's about 10 tickets left to the
Oh.
banquet. Please go immediately and get yours if you haven't already.
How many people are coming?
Like 120.
That El Torito can accommodate all those people?
140 is our max.
Ah.
Last
Will
year,
we be
86
holding our
attended.
plate on our hand or what?
Did we get a microphone and speaker?
Yes, and Gloria Wong will be.
Okay.
There
But Sheila, would we be holding our food in our hand? Would there be a table? and
There's
everything?
tables, there's a
So we
buffet,
get
there's a
the-
There might even
bar,
be forks. We're working on that.
All right.
God, you guys are
There's
fancy.
And tequila.
Your price includes a drink ticket. If you
my
don't use
God.
it, you can gift it to someone else.
Such a good.
It'll be fun.
All right. Okay, anything else, Sheila?
No, I'm good.
Ginny?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question of
Okay.
the classified senate?
Mm.
When is your classified development day?
June 8th.
June.
Who's working on that?
Mailing.
Mailing is
Me and Mei-Ling
Has
and I.
anything gone out?
And one person only?
Something went out to managers to know about what day it is?
I emailed Dr. Birdie in regards to notifying the managers.
And
You
I-
did?
And I emailed it to Leslie Terapelli, who's gonna help
Okay.
with the professional development part of it.
I thought that you were informing me to put it on my calendar.
You send that
I didn't realize I had to share, I didn't realize I had to.
Can
It
you
was
share-
a two-pronged email.
Oh,
Can you
okay,
share?
well,
You didn't read the bottom part.
when did you send me that?
4 days ago. I
4
don't
days
know.
ago, because I know, I saw it, I checked my calendar, I know I was applicable.
What day again?
You put it on my calendar, and I asked
I was-
Monica to put it on my calendar, but I didn't realize I
June
had to
8th or
send
May
it.
8th? It's June.
June 8th,
June.
and
Okay.
we've
So
sent a
we'll-
save the date out to
Yeah.
the staff, and we
Uh-huh.
got it. We're gonna do our signups through
Okay.
Eventbrite very soon. It's just Mei-Ling and I that are working on it,
All right.
so
Okay.
So can
we're
you,
getting there.
forward that to
can you
me.
share it with the managers,
Yeah.
because all the staff are gonna be gone, so we
Right.
need to be able to prepare, plan for the day,
Okay,
which is
so,
fine, but we just need.
Joe, can you bring that up tomorrow morning at the managers meeting?
Yes.
And since you are the official rep of
Yes.
managers, so bring it up tomorrow.
And this is
All right.
when
And, Monica, put it on the agenda
and what
for
we
tomorrow.
have the
For
schedule.
the
What's
managers
on the-
meeting, yeah?
And the name of the event is.
Okay,
Yes.
let's keep going. Anything else, Jean?
Classified professional, okay.
All right, Monica?
No.
No?
Good.
Julio? Okay. We don't have any more, Crystal?
I'm gonna get out of here really early.
I know.
No? That's it? I'm disappointed now. I was hoping to stay here till 11:20, but okay. All right. Well, so now adjournment, meeting adjourned then.
It was a good.
We're good, right?